fairly random that ghosting happens. And I think, you put a term out there that I think hits the nail on the head. It's a lack of psychological commitment that can give rise to it, an unresolved ambivalence. Not sure if I'm in or out as the person who might do the ghosting, coupled with a few aspects of the situation that can lead to the behavior of ghosting. So there might be low anticipated costs of disengaging. It doesn't cost that much to do this thing. And maybe there isn't that much reputational damage, or at least there's the perception that there won't be much reputational damage for having done it. And for those that are on the cusp of ghosting, there's some things that might leak through with how they're paying attention, the language that they're using, the timing, or other aspects of a negotiation or conversation that have to be coordinated. So even though it's this, like maybe sort of an abstract experience that we're hoping to prevent, there's still concrete markers that we can look for that might clue us into the possibility that ghosting could happen in the future. So,
let's talk about a few of those.
Yeah, sure. So a few of them that we could look for is in those conversations that we're having, there might be a temporal ambiguity. Meaning when we're talking about time, nobody really wants to put a stake in the ground, right? So when timelines remain unbounded, when time commitments aren't ones that people want to stick with or to even sort of promise in advance, what that does is decrease psychological ownership. If I don't have my name associated with a deadline, then that sort of gives me an out. That's where it's becoming ambiguous about what are the next steps, by whom, by when. And people can leverage, whether intentionally or not, that ambiguity to maybe lead to the ghosting. So maybe some phrases that you might have heard or that you might be wary about moving forward is, we'll circle back internally and get back to you. Well, when? And who's the we in this? The soft deferrals of I'll get back to you, but no time, no means specify, by phone call, by an email, by a text, by like how are you going to do that? So that's keeping the ownership low and diffuse. Another sign that we could look for is question asymmetry. So ghost prone clients might be ones that consume information but avoid posing questions that could be evaluative or diagnostic. So they might ask for clarification, but not anything that's necessarily constraining. So how does that work? Can you tell me more about how that works? Rather than something that might be more pointed, like how would that integrate with our systems? That's suggesting more ownership over the idea or the prospects of what collaboration could look like. And it's one that sort of takes the asymmetry away. I'm asking you about me, and I want to see how we work together. In contrast, how does that work is just in a powerful position asking you to share information without asking for integration.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think I've heard these things, Emily. I'm nodding because I think in the real world I've
Yeah. And I'm worried about like, have I used them myself? As I say, like these are possibilities. I definitely have heard them too, but like, am I the one that's saying them? I don't know. I'll certainly be more mindful moving forward.
Well, I also think they feel polite. You know what I mean? Like, let's say when we're the ghoster doing it, like there's some social constraints sometimes to turning people down, and so like sometimes you use these sort of social conventions is what some of them are, like someday, and those ambiguities.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, ghosting, it sounds like a really hurtful and negative thing, and it sort of is. To leave somebody without closure is really challenging for that person who's been ghosted to receive. And it's not something that people are intentionally trying to do to cause harm. And so it's this slippery slope between figuring out how do I get what I want, which is maybe to dissolve this relationship, preserve face for that person, or to superficially at least maintain a positive relationship with them by doing these soft, aggressive actions rather than taking what is a challenging and hard step forward, which is to be clear that there is a genuine low probability that this is going to move forward. That's hard to say because you don't want to see somebody's disappointment. People don't want to be the bearer of bad news in most situations. So it feels like a nicer way to do it. But also, if you're feeling like, oh, this is just telling me it's okay to use these kinds of phrases to ghost, that lack of clarity is just a time sink. It's a time sink for the person who doesn't know whether they should or shouldn't move forward with investing resources, but also for you as the one who's thinking that this is a safe out, because it does mean that you've kept the door open enough so that that a vendor or somebody who's trying to engage you is going to keep pinging you, right? You're
Yeah.
still going to be paying attention to them. You're still going to be trying to find this soft out. And so it may not necessarily even accomplish the goal that you might be intending it for.
Absolutely. And then also